righty, 9 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. Joining us this morning, some folks from Titusville Summer Theater's production of Curtains. Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
Good morning. We're doing fine.
Welcome to the program. This is exciting. You know, as soon as the 1st of July hit, I thought, oh my gosh, Summer Theater's got their big production in just a couple weeks. Next week, right?
Yes,
next week.
Wow. So tell us about, before we get into the production, introduce yourselves and the role that you have with this year's production.
Well, I'm Andrea Strong, and I'm the music director for the show, along with Father Jay Schultz, who will be directing.
I'm Shannon Vincent. I'm the choreographer, and I also play one of the characters.
I'm Gloria Taylor, and I'm the producer, and also I sing background with the chorus.
Very nice. Ladies, again, welcome this morning. This is always just a great time of year, and you guys work so hard on putting these shows together. Let's start with the I guess the very beginning. When did you decide Curtains was going to be the next show?
Last year, we always tried to plan a year ahead for our shows, and I happened to be down in Pittsburgh where they were advertising curtains, and I sort of read into it a little bit, and it's a little bit off the beaten path of what we usually do those old-time blockbusters, Oklahoma, things like that, and I said this will be different. We branched out first year doing 9 to 5.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was fantastic, and we said, well, we're going to try one more, so we did Curtains.
Very nice. And from what I understand, this is something that you might switch up every other year, maybe introduce a newer production?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's very exciting. Mm-hmm. So Curtains was decided. When did you guys actually start the audition process?
We auditioned about the second week in May.
So this is something that, I mean, you guys have been working on for a couple months now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's it take to put a kind of, this kind of production together?
Well, we have the board. It focuses first around the board of directors, and it's a working board. So you're like in charge of different committees, and like I'm producing, and like Diane Snyder. Everybody knows Diane Snyder. She's got like 5 jobs, and she does them very well. And each committee member is responsible in helping to strengthen this show.
So at what point did you know, Andrea, that you were doing music or that Jay was doing the direction?
Well, Jay had been contacted to direct pretty early on, and he was very interested in the show and had seen it before. And then this is actually my first time directing music. They usually Lane does it, and he was taking a vacation during the show this year, so they asked me, and that's when I found out.
And of course you said, yes, this is going to be great.
Yes.
Well, it's very exciting and probably very challenging. Let's talk about the music for just a second here. To be able to meet with the director and say, okay, well, here's the music. We got to bring in these musicians, and I mean that. Not only time consuming on your part, but the music's such a big part of a summer theater production. And no pressure here. I mean,
no. I mean, it is a big part of the production, and I think it's refreshing to hear new music theater songs that you're not used to. Mm-hmm. I definitely think some of them are very entertaining, and the audience will enjoy them, as well as the choreography with them.
Challenge for you and the folks you work with, I take it?
A little bit for everyone, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it comes to choreography,
mm-hmm.
what approach do you take? Do you try to watch a show, or do you try to put yourself away from what others have done?
A little bit of both. Sometimes I'd be kind of stuck for an idea, so I'd kind of do some internet searching and find some interesting, ideas. But mostly it came, the choreography comes from what, from me. And the music is a lot of fun. And I had never heard of this show. So, I started listening to the music, and I'm like, that's a great song. That's a great song. And it was just a lot of fun to choreograph.
Actually, it's got to be nice to be sort of unfamiliar with it because you can take a fresh approach mm-hmm. to the music or the choreography or the acting. Right. And we've had folks in before who've talked about when it comes to acting, especially a show that people know, how do you make the character your own when it's so, beloved by, another performance? But the same would go for the dancing or, the arrangement of the music or the set pieces. And Titusville does a really good job at making the production their own.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You all of you have been on stage before. do you like performing, or do you prefer the behind the scenes work, or do you like to do both?
Well, you know, at my age,
29.
I had my day in the sun, and as always, there's just through the years, there's parts you just can't do or don't get, but it's always something new. You know, there's always something else you can do, and I enjoy. Actually, you're not going to see me on stage because
At
I
all.
have trouble
Okay.
walking with my knee and stuff. But I'm sitting behind the curtain, and you're going to hear my voice.
Well, you'll hear it.
But I love it. I just love it, and I just cannot imagine not giving away 6 weeks of my life. Not for summer theater. I just can't. I love doing it. I get excited every year about each show.
I'm sure you guys get folks who say, why just once a year? It's so much fun in the summer. Do more shows.
You know, it's historical. My dear friend T.K. Stover and Marion Bernstein and all these names that you've heard of in the past, 1969, they opened those doors. Ed Myers, he's still around. And they started Titusville Summer Theater. It was only supposed to be a one-time gig.
Really?
It was supposed to be a one-time gig, something that these folks wanted to do.
Wow.
And they're still going strong. 2015 from 1969. And I just think it's very historical. And if we feel like doing a show in the fall or in the spring, we'll do it. But we are Titusville Summer Theater.
All right. How about you guys? Do you prefer being on stage or behind the scenes, or a little bit of both?
Well, this year I was supposed to be behind the scenes, just doing the choreography, signed up for that. And then about a week in, Father Jay asked me if I would consider taking a role, and I said, sure, that'd be great. So I've had a blast. It's been a lot of work, but I've had a lot of fun being part of the production, you know. So I'm wearing two hats, you know. We're in the middle of a dance, and while we're practicing, I'm calling out the dance moves, but still trying to be my character. So it's a little challenging.
Also, we have the honor of having the whole Vincent family
Yes.
Very nice.
on stage. Your daughter Abigail and her husband Kevin,
Yes.
and they do a little dance number together.
Really? See, I have this feeling that Kevin secretly really loves performing on the stage.
He secretly does.
See?
I don't think
And
it's a
he's-
secret.
No, I don't think it's a secret
Oh, you
anymore.
really?
No.
I always, when I'm talking to him, it's always like, oh, you know, I'm just filling in the part, or I'm just doing whatever.
Yeah.
I'd rather maybe be looking at the music or helping out there, but it's no, he's really good up on stage.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you guys have a dance together.
It's small, really, a really small part, yes.
But it's great.
But it's great.
a little bit of tap.
Well, Andrew, describe the music. How is this different from a Rodgers and Hammerstein production?
It's a little bit more upbeat. I would actually say the plot's almost kind of like a farce on Oklahoma. It's a show in a show, so like one of the big numbers is like wide open spaces, and they spell out Kansas, like in Oklahoma they spell out Oklahoma. So I don't think it's very different, but plot-wise very, very different from Rodgers and Hammerstein.
So who are the other cast members involved? Are we talking about some new folks?
Oh,
Are we talking about some of the classic vintage performances? A little bit of both?
Well, there's a lot of new faces to summer theater this summer, which is sad that we don't have some of our usuals this year, but also kind of refreshing too to see some different people on stage. Some young, some not necessarily old, but older people in the community.
Seasoned.
Well said. Seasoned.
People in the community who have come out for their first show. So it's nice.
You don't want to offend Mark. He's in his upper 90s.
I'm seasoned.
So some new people in the community getting involved, which is really nice.
So the production next week. Now, last year you guys added a Sunday matinee, right? Was that last year?
Saturday.
We had
Saturday.
added a fourth performance. We had done two on Saturday. We're still doing that Saturday matinee this year, which will be at 1 o'clock instead of 2. And there is no Saturday evening performances, so only 3 chances to see the show this year.
Okay. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday afternoon. Okay. Where can folks get tickets?
Chamber of Commerce right now at the Chamber. And then on each night of the show, you can get them at the Colestock Auditorium.
But you got to get there early. I mean, there are people who are camped out hours in advance just to get good seats.
Yes, because the seats are reserved. So you can't bring grandma down to save 20 seats and have her sitting there all afternoon.
Okay. It's like a music concert there where the parents are taking tape and taping the seats
We don't do that.
No.
We haven't done that in years.
Okay.
I believe one of our actors has showed up. Is he
Oh,
still
did he? Oh, he is.
Here's our actor.
All right, let's bring in Ben Snyder. 20 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. We're here with cast and crew members of Titusville Summer Theater's production of Curtains. Ben Snyder joining us here this morning. Good morning, Ben.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Not in college yet. What time did your alarm go off, buddy?
No, I got up in plenty of time. I just, in my head, I kept thinking 8:30.
You just I blame Lane Fortney for that. When all else fails. Ben, not only have you been involved with productions in the past, with the high school, with Summer Theater, your mom, your dad have been a part of Summer Theater for just years. And it's fun watching you perform because I see a little bit of Tim. Actually, I see a lot of Tim in you. What does it mean for you at your age to be able to have this experience of performing with a group like Summer Theater?
Well, I think it's great because, I mean, for quite a while there was youth theater and adult theater, and I think that we lost a lot of kids during that break in a couple of years where the younger kids couldn't be in the older people shows, and then so I think it's great that youth theater has started to upper the age a little bit, and Summer Theater started to lower the age so that we can kind of mesh together so that you do get the experience of working with really talented actors.
What's this show like for you compared to the other productions you've been a part of?
I think it's a lot of fun, really. My character is the director of the show within the show, who is very colorful, I suppose. And so I get to have a lot of fun just going crazy.
Describe the music. Andrea took some time and described her feelings with the music compared to other performances. How about for you?
I think it's definitely pretty difficult. There's a lot of harmony parts that you can't really hear, and so Miss Strong's done a lot of work with us so that we can sing that properly, and I think it sounds really nice once it gets all put together.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying to me the other day that the choreography was just horrendous. Is that what you said? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm right here.
I'm kidding. But talk about, and I'm always fascinated by this because, you know, every 10 years I pop in and help out with sound, and it always amazes me how, you know, I come in the week before a show, and it looks like there's, some things that still need worked out, but it all comes together for opening night. I can't describe it. It's just part of the magic of the theater. Do you guys see that as well, or is that just part of the whole magic?
It's like crash time. You better get it right.
It is, yeah.
I think sometimes, I mean, I've directed a lot of shows, even with middle schoolers, and it's always that feeling like, I don't know, like that last rehearsal can be terrible, and then opening night just goes very smoothly. So
Yeah.
I think it depends, and sometimes you have really great dress rehearsals, and then the next day it's not a very good dress rehearsal. But part of opening night that makes it so successful is that you do have that audience there to respond. They laugh at the things that are supposed to be funny, whereas in rehearsal you say a joke and it's just crickets, nothing happens. And so it's a little easier to act out a part when people are responding to it, even though when you're acting, you're not supposed to look at the audience or acknowledge that they're there.
You feed
When
off
you
the
act,
energy.
you need the energy from the audience. It really makes things run a little bit smoother.
I've always noticed my kids who no longer live here in Pennsylvania, they're scattered, but we're very involved with theater productions in Venango County, especially with the Barrow. And I would watch them over a period of time as things started to come together. And Tech Week, colloquially known as Hell Week, the Tech Week would come along, and all of a sudden everything would just it was either make or break time, and it was fun to go down and watch the dress rehearsals because some of them would absolutely be horrendous. And the night before, it was like someone threw a switch. The night before opening night, everything came together. You know, the music worked, the acting worked, and the first show went off without a hitch. It was like someone would always pass a small miracle, and I imagine that's what you live for. But I think that's part of the magic too, wouldn't you think?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
Shannon, I'm sure when you guys are first reading through that script, people are laughing for the first week, maybe into the second week. But you're
Absolutely.
right. By this point, it's like, okay. So it's nice to get that reaction from the audience.
It's always kind of fun because that last week someone may drop by for whatever reason, someone doing the lights or the sound, and they're hearing some of those jokes and they're laughing out loud, and it's reassuring because you forgot how funny it was. And one thing I've always noticed on stage is that sometimes the audience thinks things are funny that you did not realize were even funny. And it makes you kind of laugh too. So it's just great.
What's your favorite part of the show? Is there a scene? Is there a performance? Is it just the whole piece coming together?
There's a love song in there, and it's a new young man, Josh, the piano player.
Yes.
Oh, Josh Lapping. He's from
Josh
Erie.
Lappin from Erie. His voice is so beautiful, and he sings that song, and it's like he's really singing this song.
Yeah, he does a great
It
job.
touches your heart. It's beautiful.
So it sounds like there are moments where you get wrapped up into the
Yes.
performance or the dance or a piece of music, and you kind of forget where you're at for a minute. Then that's what you want.
Yep.
Alrighty. Hey Ben, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Breakfast.
I'm right there with you.
That is a good answer. Good answer. Again, I hate to throw this out because at the end of every performance, people are always saying, "Oh, when's the next one? We got to do another one, or bring Winter Theater back." Do you think there's enough interest to do that here in the near future, or is that something that we just put aside and look forward to the summer theater productions?
I would love to see Winter Theater back because that's time when I can sit back, and I love dramatics. I love it. I will always remember. There's one show that I remember Winter Theater almost wetting my pants on. Kathleen Perkins, then Edelman. You know Kathleen. She's just the sweetest little kindest. She's cussing and hitting and throwing stuff at someone. I mean, it was so far out her character. But I think it was Take My Wife Please or something. But it's fantastic. I love dramatics, and I wish Winter Theater would come back and throw some shows out there because the community they need the musicals in the summer. They need the dramatics. Even the children's show. I love it when the groups do their different things. And if we need to come back and do something, our specialty used to be during the veteran shows in November. And we used to have like USO shows. And things like that, so.
Alrighty. Well, there's a good group of people. Maybe after this performance, you guys could get together and work on bringing it back.
We'll see.
That's exactly what you need. Just one more thing to do. All right, guys. Once again, recap the show dates and times.
They'll be next Thursday, the 9th at 7:30 p.m., the 10th at 7:30 p.m. as well, and then on Saturday, a matinee, which will be at 1 o'clock p.m.
All right. And then anybody
All at Colestock Auditorium.
And then anybody who wants to hang out after the Saturday show and strike the sets, they can do that, right?
You'd be more than welcome.
Absolutely.
And again, tickets can be purchased in advance or at the door.
Yes.
In advance at the chamber.
At the chamber. All right. I'm telling you, people are going to be camped out.
Okay.
Stop by, get your tickets. There is assigned seating, so hurry up, get those tickets, get the great seats, and enjoy the performances. You guys want to mention any other actors in the show this year? Was there some names on it?
There was one thing I wanted to announce. Our seasoned veteran actor here, I believe what was your first entrance on the stage? How old were you?
Like a couple months, I don't know.
He was like 2 months old. I believe he was carried out by Kathleen Edelman.
Wow. Oh, that's
he's
where
a
he was
seasoned
dropped
actor.
about
That's
3 or 4 times, right?
Yep.
That explains everything.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why I
Wow.
was 20 minutes late.
That's right. That's right. What, do you remember the show? What was the show?
Carousel.
Was it?
Carousel.
You have an excellent memory.
For being dropped. Alrighty. Do you guys know what you're doing next year?
Not yet.
Not yet, but it'll be in the program next week.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Guys, thank you so much, and break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty. Final look at news coming up next.
See